Good early afternoon. We are live. My phone is put on mute. Shanda Danner, how you doing? You made it on time. It's a beautiful day here in Orange Beach. Kind of cool. I mean, I know those of you up in Duluth who are struggling through 12 inches of new snow might think that 60 degrees is not kind of cool, but it's kind of cool to us. Sandy Atkins, how you doing? It's a beautiful rainy day in El Salvador. Go Gators. And you are obviously a Florida Gator fan. El Salvador's one Florida Gator fan. Did you guys notice that when they did the net, when they cut down the net after winning that game, that freshman kid was able to cut down the net and not get on a ladder? I mean, that is just crazy. So he's 7'9". He's the tallest player to ever play in NCAA basketball. But I mean, he's unbelievably huge. And he hadn't played that I saw, and so I don't know how coordinated he might be, but you can't coach height. Dave Huco, how are you doing? Good afternoon. Martin Simmons. Gomer says, hey from Milton. Heather Olson, hey, you shared in Utah, and I appreciate it. Christy, my sister, is here. Heather, this is Christy. Christy, this is Heather. Joey Cameron, hey, from Georgetown, South Carolina. And Jackie Richards, Fabian, from Navarre, Florida. It is chilly, see? It is chilly here. Navarre's right on our line, right there. When I was young, I used to go over to the Navarre Pier, and we just thought these guys were just insane. They didn't have any rules over there, I guess, because people would be standing on the rails of the pier and casting big rods and hooking fish, standing on the rails 20 feet above the water. I mean, it's like, okay. So, Nancy Bergen from Colorado. Glad you're having a beautiful day here. I'm in Orange Beach Lady Mako's attire today, as you can see. Ron Kerner from Shirts, Texas. Shirts. And this is my Mako's shirt, and they're playing today. We play tonight at home, so if you're in our area, come see them. We're tonight at home at 7 o'clock and tomorrow night at home at 7 o'clock. We just went down to Orlando and played in a major tournament there. I mean, where they had maybe 100 teams from all over the country, and they had a lot of the highly ranked teams and had people from Minnesota, from South Florida, from Chicago, Wisconsin. I mean, literally all over. And they were the top national teams. And you know who won the tournament, don't you? That's right. The Orange Beach Lady Makos. The last two games we played teams that were top 10 in the nation. We beat number 2 Doral, Florida. They're number 2 in the nation. We beat them 7-2. Daniel from Bulgaria. Man, we got people from everywhere. We're glad you guys are finding us and joining in. Skylio, there's a former Orange Beach boy living in Ohio. Lady Di, beautiful day in Wyoming, 61 degrees there. Janice Queen from Chile, North Carolina, 58 degrees. Go Makos. That's exactly right. You know, right now, we have an outfield that is made up of 9th and 10th graders in our outfield. And we have, and so there's 3 starters, 2 backups that sub in here and there. And with our 5 outfield girls, Matt, did you know this, after 23, 24 games, whatever it is, our outfield has not made a single error.
Wow.
Not a single error. And then our first baseman, Caitlin Robertson, and our catcher, Ava Hodo, have not made a single error all year. They're fielding at 1,000%. And so it's just, these girls are unbelievable. And I love to watch them. They have, in like 22, 23 games, they've outscored our opponents like 260 something to 19. I mean, but when you're watching them and you're looking at the infield, there's 6 positions on an infield, and there are 8 college scholarships locked up from infield players. Two players that are backups already have college scholarships. So they're fun to watch. Good morning from Sacramento, Bill Rayford. Hey, cool here this morning. It's kind of cool everywhere, but it's cold up in Wisconsin and Minnesota. It is cold. Today, I thought we would do something kind of fun that we hadn't done in a while. I figured we would talk about some things I think. Now, please understand, these are not things I think necessarily. These are just things I think. So you can explore these with me. I think that beds are kind of like a cosmic teddy bear because they're with us our entire lives. Most people are made on beds, they're born on beds, and they die on beds. I think that. I think that one day you're going to think of someone for the last time and you won't even realize it. Oh, now here's something I really think. Of all the millions of ways that you could have died so far, you have avoided them all. Congratulations. How about this? I think that almost every mirror you buy at a store is in used condition. And people talk about broken mirrors. I've never seen a mirror that truly broke. Mirrors, I think that mirrors don't truly break. They just split into smaller mirrors. I think that if you knew your future, wouldn't that fact itself change your future? Just if you knew it, do you think? If you knew your future, that would change your future. Just making sure I was right thinking that. I think that you can't predict your next thought. Because if you tried to predict your next thought, you'd already be thinking it. I think there's a high degree of possibility that somebody that their therapist or their counselor or their minister knows everything about you and probably thinks it's all your fault. I read the other day where the oldest person on earth was 117 years old. And I think that means 118 years ago, there was a completely different set of human beings on earth. Complete new set. I think brushing your teeth is the only time you attempt to clean your skeleton. Did you hear about a skeleton that walked into a bar? He said, "I'd like a beer and a mop." Okay. I think that cheese is really just a loaf of milk. You know how you can go into a restaurant, you can order a quarter of a chicken or a half a chicken? I think that when you buy and eat like a quarter of a chicken or a half a chicken, you're secretly sharing a meal with a stranger. I mean, that makes sense, doesn't it? I think, remember how when we were kids and we would say, "I found the perfect hiding spot. I found the perfect." That used to bug me because I would think, if you think you found the perfect hiding spot, you definitely did not find the perfect hiding spot. Right? I mean,
Makes sense because you found it.
yeah, it was the perfect hiding spot. You wouldn't be able to find it. So I don't know that anybody's ever found the perfect hiding spot.
Hoffa.
Even though we were at a friend's lake house one time, and the kids, it was raining that day, and the kids were going to play hide and seek, and there were probably 15 kids. It was actually, we were all gathered in there because of a hurricane. But this was years ago. And they decided they're going to play hide and seek. And there's an upstairs, and you could look to downstairs. You know, you could walk along this rail area and look downstairs. And the rail area, it wasn't a rail, it was kind of a wall with a kind of board over it, you know, that you walked along. And on the other side of it, I guess in case somebody flipped over, there was a ledge about like that. Now, you couldn't see the ledge from upstairs because even when you walk by it, you're walking by that covered. Is this making sense? You know, the ledge is like right here. And if you're walking along here, you can't see somebody here. Now, if you're downstairs, you can look up and you can't see them on that ledge. And so one of the kids went onto that ledge and laid down and went to sleep. And they could not find this kid for an hour and a half. And everybody was kind of wondering if he was okay. And turns out he was okay. It'd be bad if he rolled over to sleep. But he finally woke up, and people weren't even playing hide and seek anymore. You know, they were on to something else. But when we found out, I mean, I thought that was as close to the perfect hiding place as I've ever seen. Russell Road, 42 degrees in East South Dakota, and glad for it. You glad it's that warm? Okay, I think lava and poison. Lava and poison, I think, have a lot in common, because I think that you can drink either one, but only once. Just once. I think that, I mean, we see a lot of talking birds now. We see, parrots, gray parrots, macaws, minor birds, cockatoos, cockatiels, and almost all of them can talk. You know, you can say something, but I think that the first guy ever to hear a parrot talk must have just totally flipped out. I mean, can you imagine trying to convince your friends? I swear he said hello to me. I swear. we had some friends that had a cockatiel one time, and he could whistle the Andy Griffith theme, but he would get stuck. He'd go. Get stuck right in the middle of it. And the other thing of that bird is one time he started making a sound and that they couldn't figure out what he was doing. And he'd go, "Ah, pop," like that. And he'd do it, several times a day. "Ah, pop." And it was driving them crazy. They could not figure out what that bird was doing. And one afternoon, the guy was laying on the couch, and his wife was about to go to the grocery store. She said, "I'll be back in a little bit." And she went out the back, opened the screen door, and let it go. And it went, "Ah, pop." And that's what that bird was imitating. Is that crazy? All right. I think that 8 hours of sleep a night sounds fine. I mean, that sounds fine. But that means that 2,920 hours a year you're asleep. 2,920 hours a year you're asleep, which means you spend 121 days a year asleep. 121 24-hour periods asleep, which sounds insane. Doesn't that sound insane? 365 days you're going to get, but you're going to spend 120 of them asleep. I think that it's strange that I press play to start a movie, but I press start to play a game. I press play to start, then I press start to play. I think that 50% of Canada is the letter A. I think that if vegans were so serious about it, they would not use feather pillows. Because feather pillows are from dead chickens, and they're pulled out of their dead bodies. Now here's something that's kind of weird that I think. Have you seen Toy Story? You seen Toy Story? You know Woody from Toy Story? And then the little boy's name is Andy. I think that if Woody from Toy Story died somehow, Andy would never know, and he would just keep playing with his toy's corpse. That's pretty bizarre, isn't it?
You know, it's funny when I think about Toy Story.
What?
I think this is so strange. You know, Quentin Tarantino, obviously, makes some pretty insane movies. He has been quoted saying he thinks that Toy Story 3, which I'm sure you've probably never even seen, he thinks Toy Story 3 is the most perfectly written movie. Like, he loves the story from it, and he refuses to see the fourth one because he's like, there's no way they could make it any better. And I'm like, what a strange thing. So that's what I think of. I hear about Toy Story. Quentin Tarantino loving it.
Quentin Tarantino. Did you ever see that movie Inglourious Bastards?
Oh, yeah.
That's that guy. Who's the bad guy in that movie? Who's the actor?
Christopher Waltz.
Christopher Waltz. That's the first thing he was ever in, I think. And he plays the best bad guy I've ever seen. You know, after that movie, they selected him to play the bad guy in one of the Bond movies. And he was an okay bad guy in the Bond movie. But he was so bad in that Quentin Tarantino movie. I just thought there's nobody ever played a better villain than this. And so Inglorious Bastards, and it's a kind of revisionist history because it's what would happen if during World War II some Jews got together and figure out a way to get Hitler, and that's the story of it, and it's pretty neat. There's a lot of, you have to adjust your mind to the revisionist history of it. I think that when Sleeping Beauty was kissed by the prince, she had been asleep for years. So I'm thinking that when the prince kissed her, her breath must have been awful. Just must have been awful. Sleeping that long? Oh my God. Kiss me, darling. Oh, help me, Jesus. I think, and this is an odd thought that as an adult, I think you're going to have to think back. I think, if I'm remembering this correctly, I think that all the cool parents, the adults that I thought were cool parents when I was a kid, all of them, they turned out to be bad parents. You know the saying, blood is thicker than water. That means family ties or, So I think that if blood is thicker than water and syrup is thicker than blood, then pancakes are more important than family. I think I'm going to text this today. This next one, I think I'm going to text this to Dave Ramsey today. I think Dave would get a kick out of this. I think that, and I saw somebody wearing a very expensive watch the other day, and this is what I thought. I think if you see somebody wearing a $20,000 watch, it's hard to know if they're really good with money or really bad with money. This is one that gets me. This really gets me because Polly's college is always asking for donations. And, I don't have a college asking for donations because I didn't go. I went for like a year. I mean, I didn't go to any classes during the year, but I was in the town. But I think that colleges asking alumni for donations while they're charging students $50,000, $60,000 a year for tuition, I think that's ridiculous. There are several colleges that have $1 billion in the bank, $1 billion in endowments, and they're still actively out there asking alumni for money and charging $50,000 and $60,000. I mean, you go to Vanderbilt, it's $100,000 a year, easy, and Vanderbilt has $1 billion in their endowment. I mean, how much is Harvard? $1 billion. I mean, to me, unless you're giving to the football team or something, that's, That made me think about some great mascots. We need to do a show about great mascots one day. Because I talked to a guy, I think it was Andrew Murata that went to a college, and I can't remember the name of the college, but they were the Fighting Quakers. What a great mascot. To get something that's a pacifist and say you're fighting the Fighting Quakers. In Mississippi, that we have a Fighting Okra. I think that food tastes different to everybody. I mean, if sweet tea tasted like broccoli juice to me, but not to everybody else, and I said, I don't like tea, you wouldn't think, well, he doesn't like it because it tastes like broccoli juice. You just think he doesn't like tea. So does food taste, I mean, does that taste like country fried steak to me? But to you, it tastes like fried fish? How would anybody ever know? How would you know? That's what I think. Ron Kerner says in high school, his high school was the Sand Crabs. He was a sand crab. You must have gone to school somewhere along the beach. Here's an odd thought that I had, and I'm pretty sure I think this. I'm pretty sure I don't just think I think this. I actually think this. If you imagine that you're naked and in a room full of people who speak a language you don't understand, that's basically the life of a dog. Right? Just run around naked, wagging your butt. Bunch of people going, Rover. Eat. That's what the world sounds like to your dog. Sit. Rover. Lie down. I ain't got that one. I ain't got that one. I'll sit for you. So, I don't think I think this. I wonder if I wonder it. I wonder which is harder, winning a conversation. Now think about this. What's harder, winning a conversation with a smart person or winning an argument with a stupid person? Which one's hardest? I think that if I cloned myself and the clone killed me, would that be suicide or murder? I think this is the last one that I think coming up. I think that if your parachute doesn't open, you have the rest of your life to fix it. Sometimes these are just funny to me. But that one is funny. If your parachute doesn't open, you have the rest of your life to fix it. Well, that's going to do it for today. Do you know we are missing? We're going to miss 3 blue plates in a row. Did you know that?
I did.
Only one of them's my fault.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. I'm going flying out somewhere, not really sure where, flying out somewhere Thursday and then back in Friday. But I'm speaking either Thursday evening or Friday morning somewhere, wherever I fly out to. I don't really know. People ask me, where are you going this week? I'm like, I don't know. SB would just like tell me, hey, make sure you're at the airport in the morning. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. Where am I going? But then Matt is the reason we're missing the next weeks, because Matt is on his honeymoon. Yeah, you can clap and you can go, oh, he's on his honeymoon. Got a honeymoon trip planned. I just hope your new wife will go with you.
Me too.
It was a great wedding Saturday night.
It was.
Sonia was there, and B and Philip and Tina and Austin.
We even had Julie.
Julie was there. Yeah, Julie and Craig were there, and Tommy McGaster. I thought you should have invited some other people other than just us. But I thought it was kind of a sparse crowd for a wedding, because there were only like 6 people there. But I'm just kidding. There's like 600 people there. There were so many people there. But it was a great wedding. And we already like Brittany more than we like you.
Me too.
So anyway, you guys are just going to have to sit around and think about us on Thursday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Better yet, why don't you go on Wisdom Harbor and watch some of that stuff? So, I mean, you got hours and hours and hours, days of content, 7-8 minutes at a time. So definitely do that. And if you haven't watched the podcast that came out this morning, it's actually a replay that you haven't seen, because it's a replay of a bit I did last week on Rick Burgess's show. Rick Burgess is a syndicated radio morning person, real popular, 70 stations. And I'm doing the 8 o'clock hour every other Wednesday with Rick and those guys. And so we were laughing so hard, Matt called and said, why don't you get the copy of that hour, and we can play it play it on the podcast. And so you can watch it on YouTube. You can watch it by clicking on it. If you're not getting our podcast, go on andyandrews.com and put your email address in the VIP mailing list. So, and then every Tuesday morning, the podcast link will be in your inbox. And so I already talked about the Makos. My sister's watching. Talked about Matt's wedding. Now, I think we're through. So, see you when Matt gets back from his honeymoon.